Let's see what's down here. Oh. Welcome back to the channel, folks. Barry Munford. In this video we're going to be doing a quick overview of my new electric bike, the Decathlon Est Rockrider 900. That should be the Decathlon Rockrider Est 900 review. Now, for everyone new joining this channel, I'm not normally reviewing mountain bikes. It's a photography channel, but since I bought this for my photography to go out and explore different places and get further, I thought it'd be a good idea to do a review of this bike in English, because when I tried to find some reviews on YouTube regarding this bike, there wasn't very many in English. So this is my review of the Rockrider Est 900. So I'm going to kick off by saying this was not the original bike I was going for. The bike I was originally going for was the Cube Reaction 500. The reason I didn't buy that is because I had to wait 4 to 5 weeks for it being delivered, because everywhere is just sold out during the lockdown. Everybody has bought lots of bikes and it was just sold out. But I managed to get this one within a week, so the impatience got the better of me, and I bought the Rockrider Est 900 from Decathlon. Ordered it online and it was delivered within a week. All I had to do was put the handlebars on and the foot pedals, and that was it. Everything was good to go. Charge the battery up and I was away. So I'm going to give you a little breakdown. I'm going to run through some of the specs for all the mountain bike guys out there who are looking at possibly buying one of these, and possibly for people from my community, for the photography community who may be looking at purchasing an e-bike. This could be a good purchase for you. So we're going to kick it off with the price. The price of this bike was $16.99. Now I know that's a lot of money for a bike, but honestly folks, these bikes are amazing. The original Cube Hybrid, which I was going to go for, was, I think it was £2,300, so I've saved quite a lot of money for very, very, very similar specs. Now, if I can describe this bike in terms of cars, I would say this is kind of your 4x4 type of electric mountain bike. It's just rough, rugged. It'll grab you by the scruff of the neck and just take you anywhere. It is solid. It is absolutely brilliant. It's chunky, quite stealthy in the colours. There's two versions of this. This is the black and grey. You can actually get the black and orange version also, but both good looking bikes as well. The other bikes are quite more refined in terms of styling. Like I say, this is a little bit more rough and rugged, and I really, really like the look of this. Super comfortable to ride. Grips, seat, everything really comfortable to ride. So for everybody who is into mountain biking or who's actually looking to get one of these, I'm going to go through the specs of the bike quickly so you can get an overview, and I'll give you my thoughts, show you a couple of clips from where I've been, so you can kind of get an idea of how the bike is going to suit you. Right, power wise, we've got a 250 watt Bros motor. Now these motors and these bikes are fantastic, they really are. You find these motors in the specialised bikes ranging from like £3,500 up over, albeit it's a Bros T motor in the specialised bike, so it's a bit of a higher end motor. But this is the Bros S motor in here, gives you 70 newton meters of torque. I do believe with the firmware it's up to 90 newton meters of torque, so there's a lot of torque there from that motor. And honestly, when you're out and about in the rough terrain, it's absolutely fantastic. Just gets you anywhere you want to go. It really is. So that's the motor. Now it's got down here ride for around about 3 hours on the 500 watt battery that's included, 36 volt 14 amp hour battery that's included with the bike. Now I've been out, I've rode a lot longer than 3 hours. You can get so much more out of this bike. It's unbelievable. Depends on how you ride it. If you go rough with it, probably about 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, really uphill lots. I came back from a ride the other day up at Blanchford where we hit loads of hills and forestry, and it was just epic. It was an epic ride. Great place to visit if you are up here. And I came back with 2 and a bit batteries on this bike, and we rode from 11:30 and we returned at 4:30. So that was a good ride. And like I say, we were up a lot of hills everywhere, and it just didn't feel once. It can take you anywhere, and you come back feeling nice. You don't come back feeling exhausted. You come back feeling nice, refreshed, pretty much ready to go out again. So you get lots out of the 500 watt hour battery. The suspension, it's got a dual RockShox fork at the front with 120 millimeters of travel. Forgive me folks, if you guys are heavily into mountain biking. I'm not. This is kind of my new venture into e-mountain biking, so I'm not heavily into all of the terminology in that yet. So it's got 120 millimeters of travel at the front, which surprisingly was great for all that rough terrain. It was absolutely fantastic. Got it over and over, but it felt nice and comfortable. It's a hardtail, so there's no suspension on the back. But these tyres are 27.5 inch plus tyres, which take the 2.8 inch tyres. Nice thick chunky tyres, and that kind of soaks up a little bit on the back end as well. and the tyres just seem to have a lot of really, really good grip. The battery is run on Samsung SDI cells, which apparently are really good cells to have in a battery. Takes about 3 to 4 hours to fully charge, which I was quite surprised at. I'm not sure if that's what it says on the website, but it was done within 3 to 4 hours, and every time I've charged it, so that's pretty quick charging in comparison to what I've seen on other batteries. So that's a plus for this. If we talk about the pedal assist, now obviously it's got 4 modes, well actually 5 if you include the walk mode. So we have the economy mode, which is mode 1, and that gives you a 40% extra on your pedal assist, so it gives you 40% extra what you're pedaling. Mode 2 gives you 80% extra, which is quite a bit, and that's quite a nice little range to be in. And then you've got mode 3, which gives you 160% extra in your pedal assist. And then you've got the boost mode, which is mode 4, which is pretty awesome, like, gives you 320% extra pedal assist in your pedaling, which is absolutely fantastic. Like I say, it will just get you anywhere up a hill without even worrying, without even breaking a sweat, to be fair. Only thing I was make sure is obviously put a lot of weight on the back, because there's that much torque in the motor that if you don't get your weight on the back, the wheel will spin, especially if you're trying to go uphill and coming off little bumps and stuff like that. So I found obviously putting a lot more weight on the back helps you with the traction getting up the hills. And obviously you've got the walk mode as well, which I came across this by mistake. I probably should have read the manual, the online manual, which you can download. It's got the arrow button on the side of the computer, which if you just press the arrow button and hold it down, and it'll run the bike, which will help you just push it up a hill. Well, actually help you just walk up a hill without even pushing the bike, which is super handy if you come to some gradients which you cannot manage. Like you say, the hardest thing about riding this bike uphill is actually trying to stay on it. The motor is powerful enough to take you up the hill. It's actually just getting the balance right and staying on the bike, but absolutely fantastic, super fun. We'll run through the gear quickly, guys. Like I say, I don't know much about the gear, whether it's good gear or not, but I do believe that my little research that I've done, this was fairly good gear, a good spec bike for the money that you were paying for it. So we have it's a 10-speed, it's a Shimano Dior 10-speed, it's got the 10-cog cassette, 11 to 42 teeth, it's got the KMC E10 Turbo special e-bike chain, it's got the Dior M6000 right shifter, the Shimano Dior right shifter. It has the Shimano Dior M6000 Shadow Plus 10-speed rear derailleur. And it all works smoothly, really nice. Brakes I think are like 180mm diameter discs. Never had hydraulic brakes before on a mountain bike, but these things stop you dead. They're absolutely brilliant, really are. Tyres, chunky as hell. 27.5 plus tyres, like I said before. 2.8 inches wide. Lots of grip. Flying down banks at 40 miles an hour, folks, and honestly I feel super sturdy on this bike. Don't feel like I'm going to come off it, although I have had quite a few crashes, but that's user error, and just basically trying to relive my youth, which I probably wouldn't recommend on a machine that's as powerful as this until you get used to it. But yeah, the tyres really, really comfortable. Seat, it's the Ergo Fit Evo seat on it. Super comfortable seat, probably one of the comfiest seats I've ever actually ridden on a mountain bike. I thought my original standard mountain bike was comfortable. That was really, really nice. Grips, handlebars position, really nice as well. Not too wide, perfect for me. One thing I do want to touch on actually is the size of the bike. Now obviously on the size chart on the website, I was measuring for my height for a large. Now I've actually went for a small, and the small is perfect, and I actually feel that if I had went for the large, it would have been too big for me. So just bear that in mind, folks, when you're kind of sizing up. I went against the mountain bike I was originally riding. I measured that, and this was actually bigger than that mountain bike. So the small was absolutely perfect for me. So in terms of obviously range and riding, it's just amazing. It gets me out. I was like to say, this is for my photography. I want to be able to get out. I want to be able to go further. I want to be able to explore places that I probably wouldn't even attempt on foot. Maybe because it was too far, too steep, whatever. But I want to cover that ground in a lot shorter space of time. So this is going to make that a lot more efficient. Just allows me to get out there and just enjoy myself. And the main reason that I did buy it is because I didn't want to come back exhausted. I want to be able to go out one day and then go up the next day, and then the next day if I wanted to. And this really does allow you to do that. I went out for a 30-mile bike ride, came back, felt nice and fresh, didn't feel exhausted. Woke up the next day, felt like I could go out again. It's absolutely brilliant. We just had, like I say, headed to Blanchford, where we took a lot of trails through forestry, a lot of hills. It was quite a tough ride, to be fair, across the moors and everything. Again, didn't come back exhausted. woke up the next day, actually returned from that trip, felt like I could go out and ride again that night. The next day it felt exactly the same, so it's going to allow me just to get out more and go explore more places with the camera and pretty much create more content for this channel as well. So I just really wanted to put this together because I know when I was looking into these bikes, there wasn't many reviews at all in English on the Rockrider Est 900. So that was the plan, to put one together so the mountain biking community, or the eMountain bike community, could have a video to look at and obviously see from my point of view what it's like for somebody who's a novice at mountain biking. I really am a novice at especially eMountain biking, but honestly this thing just goes, it's an absolute blast to have, super fast. Now there is a little trick where you can de-restrict the cadence on there by swapping the road. I haven't done that yet. I actually don't think I will be doing that because I find off-road in the trails it's fast enough, it really is, it's got enough torque, and I'm not out for speed, I'm really out to explore. I think the only thing it could do with, really, if I'm honest, is when you're riding like on the cycle paths on pavements, which is, this is not really made for that really, but you can, is that I wish the speed limit wasn't limited to 15.5 mile an hour. I wish it was kind of up in the 20 mile an hour mark. I think 20 mile an hour is probably just a nice pace, because obviously once you hit that 15 you kind of start feeling a little bit of resistance in the bike. But apart from that, in every other aspect, it's fast enough, it's comfortable enough, and it's powerful enough to get me anywhere. I've been on mountain bike trails in Beamish Woods, which is close to me, which I've never hit before. I probably wouldn't even attempt on my own bike, let alone an electric bike. Really steep gradients, roots come out everywhere, complete novice, but it just took me down, no problem, kept me on there, and I felt super confident on this bike. Just absolutely fantastic purchase, really is. And like I say, for the money, $16.99 compared to some of the more expensive bikes, this has to be probably the best entry-level e-bike you can actually buy. Now actually, Decathlon do a cheaper version of this, which isn't as spec'd up as this, for $13.99. I don't believe the battery is watertight like this one is, and I don't believe obviously some of the other gearing on it isn't as good as what this one is. But if you're somebody who's not looking to do any kind of heavy mountain biking and just looking for a bike to get out with a mid-drive motor, I would probably highly recommend having a look at that one also, because it's just super value for money. Now there was a little issue that I've had with the bike. It's not really relevant, but I'm going to tell you about it because the shop sorted it straight away. I took it in because I thought there was a noise on the caliper. There was like a tiny little rattle. So I took that into the shop anyways. They swapped over, put new calipers on it, swapped over the wheels, and then obviously phoners told us that they don't think it's come from the calipers, they actually think it's coming from the motor. I kind of said I don't think it was. I still think it was coming from the calipers. So they were persistent saying it was definitely coming from the motor. So what they've done is they've ordered me a new bike, so I'm just waiting for that to come in when they get the new stock in. In the meantime, they told me I can obviously keep a hold of this bike, just ride it as I want, and then take it back in and swap it over once the new one comes in. So really good service from Decathlon, so I was super happy with that. I'll keep you updated, let you know the progress of that, and once I get the new bike, I'll take that for a test drive and test ride rather, and see what the motor's like on that, see if that noise is still there or whatever. I'll keep you updated on that for the mountain biking people who are really interested in buying this bike. So there you go, folks. I just wanted to put that together because I know there are a lot of people out there looking for reviews on this bike, and also I'm going to be shooting more of this with this on my channel, because I'm going to be out and about exploring the woods, exploring lots of different landscapes down the Lake District, down lots of hills. I want to head up to Scotland. We've got loads of ideas. Me and my mate both bought these bikes, and we're going to both be heading out everywhere. So I'm super excited about bring you guys along on the ride and showing you what we're going to be getting up to and what we're going to be photographing. And if on the day that we don't capture the images we want, or we don't get any images, we're still going to have loads of fun on one of these. So it's a win-win, really is a win-win with an e-bike. So I'm super excited to what's coming up in the future on this channel. So there you go, folks. Just wanted to give you an overview of this, the Rockrider Est 900. If you've liked it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you can see when more videos like this are posted. And I will see you guys in the next one. See you then.